We have a beautiful form. We have our messages stored in state now. Now we need to be able to add new messages, right? So which components are allowed to mess with the state of the chat component? If only. We can make that happen, but not without some trouble. Only chat. The only component that can mess with a component state is that component itself. So only chat is allowed to call set state on chat. And we can jump through some hoops to make it happen the other way, because we need it to happen down in the form, right? We need the form to add something. We can do that, but only indirectly. The only component that's allowed to set state on chat is chat. So we're going to have to write a method that pushes a new one on there inside the chat component. We can't write that method down in message form. No biggie. After the constructor, let's add a new method inside chat. We'll call it add message. And instead of just doing this, we will make it an arrow function. That way we have no more problems with this binding ever again. So we use the same tricks that we used in Reactrobat to start with a copy of the messages array, right? So we'll make a local variable called messages. And we can't just set it to this.state.messages, because that won't make a copy, right? Instead, we need to make a copy of this. So we use our fancy new spread operator, which breaks apart an array into its individual pieces. And then we just wrap that in a new array. And we've made a copy of that array. So then we'll push a new message onto there. So messages.push. Make a new object here. It'll have some ID. The ID could just be like the date for right now. Just something that has a reasonable chance of being unique. We'll make it a little better later. It's going to need to have a user, right? I'll just copy a user from one of these. And change the details. So give it some UID, whatever. Display name, who's talking now? Think Stephanie. Stephanie at what are your hobbies? Singing? Singing.org. Oh, we should have done a duet. Don't want to put your actual email address in a video on the internet. Although I suppose I could put purdue.edu and they wouldn't figure out your actual username. All right, Stephanie at singing.org. And then our message needs a body, right? So for right now, we'll just put in a hard-coded message. Body, so that body should be a string. So what do you say, Stephanie? Do a little better than that. I not think he is annoying. How dare you, Dana? Cool. So then we've got it pushed onto our new array, right? Now we just need to update state with the changes. So good old this.setState. What property and state do we want to update? Messages What do we want its value to be? Our local variable messages. So we'll update state with this new array onto which we've pushed a new message. Here we go. Chatting up a storm, yo. This guy's so annoying, I hate my job. Now how do we run this method? How do we test this? Yeah, but it's not connected to the form, right? This is just a method that lives on chat. The form doesn't do a darn thing. It's not going to run that. So we can still test this. We don't have to hook up all those pieces yet. In the React DevTools, let's find our chat component where this method lives. Let's go ahead and click on chat here. Ooh, what's this? $R. Oh yeah, I remember $0 from before. Go to the console. $R is our chat component. You can do $r.state.messages. Totally works. Yeah. Super handy for troubleshooting. So just select the component on the React DevTools, go to your console, and you've got that component selected. In the React DevTools, I just found my chat component, and that sets it to $R. So in the console, $R is the chat component. That face says, I understand, and this is working the same on my computer. Yeah. So anyway, maybe I could do $R dot add message. Stephanie, I don't think he's annoying. How dare you, Dana? Thank you, Stephanie. I'm just energetic. I do my best impression of an energetic person whenever I'm teaching. That's next. A little more to it, but that's the basic idea. So add message works. It's not hooked up to the form yet, but we know it works. So that's something. So if we wanted to do this when the form is submitted, we need to be able to call that method from inside a whole different component. We need to be able to call add message from inside message form. So how are we going to do that? What should we do? How can we call that method, which lives on props? That's the answer to a lot of my questions. Props. Mad props. We need to call add message from inside message form. So that was just like a, oh, it's probably props. That's always the answer when you ask a question. That's all right. Well, message form, right? So message form is where we have the actual form. So if we want to call add message from there, what do I do? What do I type here? How is props the answer?
It just is.
It just is, right? Well, it is like what we did with message list. But what am I doing? What am I passing as a prop? Add message, right? The actual function. We can totally pass a function as a prop. Why not? We can pass anything as a prop. So let's just add a prop called add message, and we'll set it equal to what? Really close. This.add message. Because inside chat, add message isn't a prop, it's just a method. Add message lives right on chat. So this.add message. which means that inside message form, I can call it as this.props.addMessage. I don't know when the last time I pasted this was. Let's paste the chat.js. I think it's been a while. There's my chat.js in Slack. So down in message form, we want something to happen when the form is submitted, right? So we'll write a function to do this. So this is actually a class, so it'll be a method. So I'll just make a method called handleSubmit. And it will equal an arrow function, because that's how we do it now. And it will get passed an event. This is not the raw DOM event. React puts a little wrapper around it, but it still has things like the target and prevent default and so on. So I can still say prevent default in here. And then what do we want to do? We want to call add message, right? So how do I call that from here? Close? Yep. It is this.props.addMessage. Once we're inside message form, because message list passes it down as chat. That shouldn't be open. Chat passes it down to message form as a prop called add message. So to get to my props inside there, I need this.props. So this.props.addMessage. Why? Because if we look at message form in our React Dev Tools, there's message form. We see add message as a prop. So I get to it from this.props. Because it's a class. So let's make handleSubmit actually do something. So on the form, we need onSubmit. Which, once again, is camel cased. I'll go ahead and put this on multiple lines. Why not? So on capital S submit equals this.handleSubmit, right? It's a method. And then that will prevent default and call this.props.addMessage. Does it work? Chatting up Storm, yo, this guy's so annoying, I hate my job. Submit. Oh, you still have to type something, right? We put required on there. Hey, I do not think he's annoying, how dare you. I said, I do not think he's annoying. How dare you, Dana? How dare you, Dana? How dare you, Dana? Back off, meanie. Cool. So now we can add a message when we submit the form. It's just not what we typed, right? But this is a step in that direction. Totally legit. So let's add an admittedly hard-coded message when the form is submitted. Yes? So handleSubmit was a method on message form. Here it is. Then onSubmit equals this.handleSubmit. I said add a hard-coded message when this form is submitted. I am pasting in my message form right now in Slack.